The Big Lerf Podcast, talking LRF and more. Hello and welcome to the Big Lerf Podcast. My name is Ben Bassett and I'm here with Mike Fulmer.
Hi Ben, Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too, mate. You too. Thanks for joining me on the podcast.
That's fine, no problem. Looking forward to doing it.
Thank you. And I've got no Rich today. He couldn't make it, which is a shame, but
Yep.
he did ask me a few questions to ask you, so
I'll try and answer them for him. Fingers crossed.
Thank you. So obviously people probably won't know the name Mike Fulmer that well.
No.
So just explain who you are.
Okay, so I am the owner of Tacklewave Ltd, which is a independent importer of Japanese lures. We've been going since 2008, and we've really got heavily into the Japanese lure imports / sales from about 2011 we were selling the products, but from 2017 we got the distribution for Magecraft in the UK and Ireland, and then it's grown from there really. We've after Magecraft we got IMA, and then after that it was K-Tech, and then it just snowballed from there really. So,
yeah.
You know.
So I mean I've probably been aware of you from around that sort of time, I guess 2017. And obviously I've been on, me and Rich have been on your sort of Tacklewave team, so to speak. So in regards to with a promotional team anglers.
And, we know you well.
Yes, we know each other very, very well.
Yeah.
But actually just speaking to you then off mic, I'm still learning about things about you now.
There you go. Well, yeah, I kind of a bit of a closed book, really. I don't particularly get in front of the camera or anything. I know I'm doing a little bits, which we'll talk about later with the Tacklewave crew, but that's, not something that's particularly natural to me.
No. Well, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. Yeah, cool. Well, so Tacklewave itself is so brings in obviously tackle from Japan mostly, I would say. Almost
no, it's exclusively from Japan. Yeah, I mean, some of it we obviously, with Magecraft, Magecraft set up Magecraft EU, which is based in Spain, in Madrid. That came, I think it's now 2 years, or it's 2.5 years ago. Okay. So we actually are bringing it in from both Japan and from Spain. And the beauty of Spain is that where the products like boxes or large items that were just, it wasn't viable to bring them in via air.
Yes.
This way they come through to Spain on containers, and we're able to road freight them in.
Okay, so that's
we are able to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If it's cheaper on road freight for sure.
Yes.
So yeah, that's been a bonus for us. But all of the companies I deal with are Japanese companies.
Brilliant. And obviously high quality companies from what we've certainly I feel like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to deal with quality companies that are going to help improve our fishing. I like niche as well, things like Little Jack, which I'm sure we'll talk about. I just love that kind of product, which is just a bit quirky, and I see it and I want it.
Yeah, exactly that. And well, so do we as well. So that goes without saying. So we've said before that we couldn't have started the Big Lerf Tackle Shop without your help. So as a supplier to us has been a massive, massive help. I also wanted to ask sort of what attracted you to that? What was the reason that you would support us in that way?
Well, obviously we've had a relationship anyway where you've been pro staff for us. And to be fair, we were sort of one of the early people that were pushing forward the LRF scene in the UK. We were sort of... I learned from people like Will Harding from Next Generation Angling about that side of the business. Obviously, I do a bit of ultralighting, but the LRFing side of it, literally, that was totally new to me. And Will sort of gave me his spin on it. And then after Will, obviously, we had andymytton, who then has sort of been a very major part of Tacklewave.
Huge, so
and then obviously you guys came into it, and you really pushed. Well, there was definitely a large lull in, from probably, I don't know, sort of 2014 through to 2017 when you came in. There was a 3-year lull. It almost just fizzled out. It felt like it. Yeah. I know there were people doing it, but it didn't sort of have any legs, and you kind of picked up the baton and you ran with it. And I think that was very important for us to get behind it with you. You were looking at what was happening in the market, both of you and Rich.
Yeah.
It was a very easy one for us to sort of pick you guys to, be part of well, we're happy to be part of you, to be honest. So not the other way around.
No,
but we're very excited. We like working with you. It's great.
Well, so do we, and obviously that feeling is absolutely mutual. And as I say, it's been a huge help to us to have access to that kind of level of tackle. Has been, I think, people can see that on the site. There is obviously just an incredible selection, and we'll go into the brands a bit later on. But obviously, a big part of that as well has been sponsorship. Of our events. So obviously we run our various events, the Winter League, fundraiser and weekender, and you without fail you support us. So I just want to say thank you for that. Firstly,
I think it's really important that we like we're not the only ones that have supported you, but I've always wanted to support you. You've been great for us, and I think also we need to encourage the young people coming through and people of my age as well. We just need it to sort of be in the spotlight a bit more. It's a growing sport. It's something you can do year round, and especially this time of year. I think when it's sort of like when it's colder weather, and if you're a bass angler, perhaps you put your bass rods away now, and you're looking for something. We all get like stir crazy, don't we?
Yes,
We're
we do,
desperate to fish. But I think it's important to highlight what you're doing, and it's great. In fact, it's such a friendly group. It's so nice to be around. In fact, we did the Big Lerf. Was it the fundraiser back in? Was that September?
It was. Well, that was July.
Was it July? Okay.
Yeah, July.
The years.
Yeah.
But we really enjoyed like being there and being part of it. And we'll certainly be there and part of it this year again.
Yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to meet all of the people as well. So yeah, definitely. Hoping I can meet the people I didn't last time.
That'd be great. So. Yeah. Lovely. I've got some questions from Rich. As I said, he can't be here. So he did ask how Tacklewave started. So 2008, you say you started?
So yeah, I actually started up. So basically,
well, you probably want to say what you were doing before.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, I owned a motor factor, so I'm ex-motor trade.
Okay.
And my ex-business partner in Tacklewave, he owned a motor factor as well. So, and we were just mates from fishing. We met, funny enough, in about the mid-90s. And we were both in the motor trade together, and we knew each other through that. Yeah. And then we bumped into each other fishing.
Oh, really?
So, and then, things went on, and I've had my issues, I guess, sort of health issues and stuff like that. And I'd had enough of the motor trade. It's, there's only so many times you can get screamed at about brake pads that weren't there on time or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, it just came to a point where he was retiring anyway. He was older, and I thought, do you know what? Let's go for it. We love buying and selling. That is actually my motivation. I love the buying and selling element.
Okay.
So I like spotting something, thinking, I can sell this. I can put a margin on it and sell it. So that's where it all kicked off really in 2008. It was actually 2007 really, but 2008 I got out of the motor trade. I sold my motor factor, and we've been going ever since. So. It's just grown from there because we started really as a sort of a budget wholesaler. I used to have a long wheel-based Mercedes Sprinter van, and I used to have that decked out like a tackle shop. And I'd go to the smaller tackle shops around Dorset.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd go certain places on one weekend, and I'd sit there on a Saturday because I knew they didn't have huge amounts of stock because it's expensive keeping stock. Yeah. I had it in my van. I could literally sit there and sell for that customer, for the retailer.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'll just sit there in his tackle shop and wait for him to get a sale come through the door. And I probably got it in my van. So he then made the sale. So it's good for him, good for me. And it was great. It was fun times. I did a lot of fishing. I'm not going to lie to you. Mean, I probably every other day, if not every day.
Which is the dream of any angler.
Absolutely. Yeah, I loved it. It was like semi-retirement and... but anyway, that sort of stopped.
Yes, things have changed since then.
I had to work. Well, it's getting better now.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about that. But I think probably it might be worth actually just going back to that because a lot of people probably won't understand how this works, right? So you import and then you obviously are then selling that to the tackle shops. That's the point.
So we're just bringing it in. Obviously, we're negotiating with the companies we deal with, and hopefully making a margin that's fair for the retailer, and gives us enough margin to continue, doing what we do.
Yes.
We've got. I think we've got 40 odd shops in the UK active that we deal with, and that's UK and Ireland as well.
Okay, brilliant.
Almost all of our brands are UK/Ireland.
Yes.
So it's exciting. We're always looking for places that haven't got any of our support, like different areas of the country, because they're, it seems that we're looking for someone, say, up north where we haven't got anyone around at a shop, so I can give them a good area. I like to give people, at least 30 miles surrounding if I can.
Yes.
It's very difficult sometimes. And when we started out, that was always the idea, is to give every retailer an area so we didn't have this competing. And also, I wanted to keep it kind of niche. The more customers you have, the more they're likely to drive it down when we get to this time of year when it's very, very quiet and everybody needs to make a sale, don't they?
Yeah.
And then suddenly the price just gets slashed. I'm really lucky that I work with some fantastic businesses. Honestly, I can't name them all, but they're really good shops, and I'm really
I'm aware of quite a few of them, and there are some really high quality.
Oh yeah. And they're just such nice people as well. So I'm really, really pleased, proud, happy. I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing, which is good.
Good. We've sort of, you started really obviously in 2008. You would have seen a lot of changes in the tackle industry, surely, in that time, right? What the biggest? This is a rich question.
Well, the lure side is massive. Okay. I mean, basically, if you go back to 2008 or 9, 10, 11, 12, literally, we started sort of selling Japanese lure brands, I suppose, back in 2011, things like Tackle House, Mega Bass and things like that. And honestly, I remember sort of saying it to, trying to sell those products, and it was like, no, I've heard of Rapala. I've never heard, I don't know what you're talking about. They've never heard of products like that. And, I remember, sort of meeting up with the likes of, like I say, Will Harding, talking about different brands, I don't know, Ticked and all these different things that I'd never heard of them either.
No.
I guess it's just that the incredible increase that we've seen in the interest in lure fishing, and that's both fresh and saltwater.
Yes.
I suppose in many respects, the freshwater has absolutely boomed. Was booming before the salt, I think.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree.
But yeah, and then since COVID, it's just gone ballistic.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen the same in both the events, obviously participation, and also, interest in LRF, views on YouTube. The rest. Obviously, it's definitely increased since COVID.
Yeah. It's quite amazing. I would say it's quadrupled easily by then. But everybody else, there's an awful lot of the brands are all doing it now, aren't they? We've got literally every brand you can think of practically throwing out, good quality lure gear. A lot of it is incredibly good quality and some good. So yeah,
it's never been a better time to be a lure angler.
No, absolutely. The choices are huge.
Yeah, me and Rich were talking about this when we first started, with LRF. We could get barely anything. There was a few shops that would stock it, and but now, like, you start LRF now, you literally
everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's incredible.
It's exciting.
Exciting.
It really is. There's some amazing products out there. There's nothing that obviously we specialize in Japanese, and for me, I kind of look at it. Why would you pay a slight increase over a European or another brand? Let's say I kind of look at the Japanese as like where they originated. A lot of it originated from Japan anyway, didn't it? So, but time is precious. I look at it like this. I love fishing. I've always loved fishing, whatever kind of fishing I've done, and time is precious. And let's be honest, how many times do we get to that? We think, I'm going to go out fishing next weekend. Get to the weekend, weather's awful.
Yes.
Can't go. Rivers in flood, there's coloured water down on the coast that you just can't go. So when you do get to go fishing, I want complete confidence in what I'm using. And that's why I think, I'm very happy to be supplying what I supply. And I understand that there's a premium for those products.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not, I think maybe if you're starting out and you're throwing lures in trees like I do often, it can get expensive, but confidence, it's all about confidence, lure fishing.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
and that's the balance, isn't it? And that's what we're finding between value and obviously that premium product that's going to give you that confidence.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I haven't used I only use my own brands anyway.
Of course.
So I literally don't use anything else, and it can get expensive at times. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, it is just all about that confidence. It's not really, you know, so.
That's good. Thank you. And for your personal plans for 2025, do you have anything sort of business related, personal related?
So business plans or personal plans for 2025. Well, so business wise, I am meant to be going out to Spain to,
really?
Hopefully next month or March. If that doesn't happen, I'm going to be forced into going to Japan next year. I know it sounds bizarre, but I'm a bit of a saddo that doesn't particularly, I like that. I would, long stories there.
Yeah.
Got a dog in COVID.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the wife and I wouldn't leave the dog with anyone else. So it's sort of I kind of, yes, I will probably have to go to Japan next year because I think it's important for the business anyway.
Yeah.
Probably should have gone years ago. But in terms of brands wise, we're just going to keep developing what we've got.
Yeah.
Exciting things happening. There's possibly an exciting rod that might have something to do with you guys that might be happening this year.
Hopefully.
Things are slow at the moment.
Yeah.
Just to happen. But there are some other exciting products, and I'm desperately in the market. I'm actually working on bags at the moment. Is something we've really struggled to get bags. Some of the brands I work with that already were well known for bags, they just don't seem to have any.
Yeah. Okay. Really?
Or they haven't had any for years, and they're not manufacturing at the moment. So,
what's the reason for that? Do you think?
One of the brands, which I can probably name as G-Crack, actually.
Okay, yeah.
So that was mainly why we went with the G-Crack brand at the time. And in honesty, I think it's the massive increase that they've had in popularity in the US.
Oh, really?
That's affected it. So
it's like supply and demand. They just
exactly, and their focus is probably more on America,
on a much bigger market.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's huge. And things like those bellows gills, I don't know. You know, they're so obsessed by these giant bellows gills. Are like 7-inch bellows gills, which was largies.
Yeah, developed for the Japanese bass fishing, right? Obviously, freshwater bass.
Yeah, and they're actually supplying all the I think the US Bass Tour is like massive into them. It's one of the most best-selling products, I think, and most popular products in the last year. Yeah, for largies. So, it's so that's something I want to correct this year. So I am actively seeking or looking at. But I I've talked about maybe even creating a brand, but it goes out of what my main focus was to stay within Japanese brands. I don't particularly want to create a brand myself. I'd like to support and distribute their brands. That's the point. So,
when you have those amazing brands to draw from, that's not such a bad thing.
No, I'm certainly not complaining. Let's put it that way.
No, exactly. And I'm talking about that. Actually, we can sort of talk about. I want to sort of go through each of your brands that you supply and sort of talk about what your picks from them, sort of like your favourite products. Okay. If you can think of them. Obviously, there's a lot.
I'll do my best off the top of my head.
And also about the brand, whether you think it's like the brand is rated or underrated. Okay. I want to see what you think about it.
Sure.
Because there's going to be some that are probably really rated. Obviously, my first one, Majorcraft, is going to be like that.
Yeah.
But there's probably others that probably fly under the radar.
Okay.
So it'd be quite interesting to see what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, okay.
So obviously, Majorcraft, let's start with that. So,
yeah, I mean, I think it's a well-rated brand now.
Yes.
We've worked really hard with Majorcraft. We've been on it 8 years now. So, and I actually was retailing those kind of products years ago anyway. So love the product. My hero products from Majorcraft, I guess. Well, the problem is then it changes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because one minute it's this and 1 minute it's that. I suppose I've got to be honest. Ajidu 722 is going to be probably one of my favourites. But
which rating?
1 to 15.
I thought it would be, yeah.
But
is that mostly for your rivers and?
Yeah, I loved that for like perch. You could pick that up and you can go and pretty much do anything. You can go and feel the most sensitive bite from a perch, but you can also drag a blooming tree across a river with it.
Yes.
If you're sensible, don't do it, please.
And this is the 5G version we're talking about here.
The 5G version, yeah. They don't do it in a 1G.
I don't think so, no.
But I suspect that'll change. But,
yes.
So that's probably, at the moment, I'm having a bit of a kick on the Latigos because they are, if you're talking underrated, I don't think, when I first started using them, I mean, andymytton was using them, and I didn't really get it. I think.
Do you want to explain a little bit what the Latigos are?
So Latigo is it's the new. It was a Majorcraft rod that Spain developed.
Yeah.
And the there's at the moment there's 3 in the range, and there's actually 4 actually. But the 3 that I'm actually talking about, the spinning versions, we've got the 7 foot 9 1 to 12, 7 9 3 to 18, and let's get this right, 8 3. And I believe that's to 32. It's like, I can't remember exactly. The 2 lighter ones are the ones I'm using at the moment.
And are they 5G carbon?
It's all on the 5G carbon blank. They're kind of like skeletal reel seats. Look really pretty.
Yeah.
They're very fast rods.
Would you like
with a lot of backbone? Yeah, I do. But having said that, look at the 722. I love the 722. It's got so much feel to it, and it's quite parabolic as well. I know it's fast. Recovery's fast, but these are really quite sturdy, backboney kite rods. But you can feel literally the 1 to 12. You can feel every single tap when you're bringing it, back towards you. It's just amazing. The 3 to 18 is the same. Yeah. And yet when you put it in your hand, you think, God, it's going to have no sensitivity at all. It's fantastic.
Are they all tubular?
They're all tubular tip. Yeah. They're really, really good rods.
What did Spain develop them for? What was the actual?
It was saltwater. It's not fresh.
Okay, interesting.
They're definitely. I think they're seen as sort of like semi-boat.
Okay.
But also, semi-boat shore rock kind of thing, that a little bit like a hard rock kind of style, that kind of rod. But they're just so versatile. I don't particularly like going over 8 foot when I go up in the freshwater. That's too long for me. I prefer it to be a bit shorter. And if anything, I would probably come down to about 7.6 or 7.3 if I could choose that. Yeah. Funny enough, there's an exciting thing. There is actually a new Latigo coming out, which is a 1 to 8.
Oh, I love
and that's due soon.
Yeah, so, amazing. So that obviously falls down into LRF categories as well. So
I'm assuming you guys will probably have that.
I would be quite interested in that. Yeah. So that's going to be a tubular again?
Tubular, yeah. So it'd be probably again. I suspect it's going to be similar, where you're going to put it in your hand and you're going to think, "Gosh, that's far. That's over what I need," kind of thing. But actually, with the sensitivity,
sounds like a good metal rod, I think.
Yes, definitely metals. Possibly if you're using small surface lures as well, very quick recovery. I mean, I'm really excited about that rod because I'm loving those 2 rods at the moment. So, and obviously the Seabass Custom, I'm very proud of, but then the Triple Cross EU Customs I'm very proud of. So, so many things, but.
And you developed a rod with Mark Cowling as well?
Yeah, I did the Mark Cowling. And that's gone. We have just finished selling those completely now.
Oh, amazing.
They're sold out.
Mark Cowling's a great guy, and he's
top man. Yeah, I love working with him. And hopefully, you never know, at some point we might tie up again for something else, round 2. Yeah. But that's a beautiful rod. That, I think, in honesty, is the closest we've ever got to the Skyroad.
Which okay.
From old was like the rod,
Which obviously was discontinued a long time ago, the Skyroad, is it?
The Skyroad was discontinued in 16. I think there was still stuff, there was still a few stragglers being sold in 17 as well, but it was discontinued. That's what the Triple Cross took over from. And the Triple Cross is a completely different rod to Skyroad. It's so bizarre but and of course the Triple Cross came in and it was much more Japanese style, more through action, parabolic.
Yes.
So that's why we developed the EU Custom, which was a faster. It was just quicken it up. Recovery's quicker. A little bit more our style, European style. So But I'm very proud of all those rods.
I can tell. Yeah, and that comes through very much. And I mean, I had a little wiggle today of the new Adjudo, the ultralight version as well.
Yeah, I think you like that.
I think I'm gonna have to have that.
That's going home with you, isn't it?
It is going home with me. And so obviously that's a sort of lighter version again of the Adjudo 5G. So 2.5 grand. Yes, I mean, I've just had a wiggle of it, softer. I think anyone who's probably critical of the 3G being a little bit too tight, a little bit too firm, is going to love that rod, I think.
Yeah, it's a completely different rod, isn't
completely it? Completely different, yeah. Amazing. Just literally half a gram shaved off.
You're the first person that's going to use it. Okay. So, they're not for sale yet. So, in honesty, good luck. You can let us know. You're going to do the review for us. So
happily so. So yeah, probably by the time this gets out, I would have put up a little post about that, I think, at some point. So that's great. So move on to the next one. So K-Tech is probably pronounced properly. I murder the pronunciation of all these Japanese brands.
It's now you've just got me going. Now it's Kate. No. I've just I say it all the time. I correct myself. No, you've got me going.
Yep.
It's K-Tech.
Yeah.
It's K-Tech.
So not
spell it like a
K-Tech,
K.
Yeah.
Spell it like a K. Do you know, I've done K-Tech, K-Tech, Ki-Tech.
Yeah. And Ki-Tech, I pronounce it that way, which is wrong. So, yeah.
I always get in trouble with the Japanese and I say, no. Oh, dear. Anyway, but, K-Tech, I basically, that was one that I courted for ages. I was desperate for that. We used to have, back door, if you like. I have had, retailed those products before, and I love them. And of course, I spent a lot of time in the States. I'm actually dual national. I don't know if you know that anyway, but there you go. There's something new. So I lived in America, and my wife and I, up until we had the dog, like twice a year, tried to get over to the States.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I spent a lot of time. My family out there are all fishermen and stuff, and I worked on a boat out there and on the Great Lakes on Lake Erie when I was a kid.
Wow.
So,
okay.
A fishing boat. So, but
I'm learning things all the time.
K-Tech is a huge product. It's everywhere you go out there, it's fantastic. Easy shiner, swing impact.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. So I was desperate to get them, and I was so pleased when I did get them. And the only thing I will say, I think I possibly got hold of it too late in the UK. It was either already probably a little bit. People would go outside of the UK to get it from other retail or distributors in Europe.
In Europe, yeah.
Which was a bit of a pain in the butt because it's not an exclusive, so I can't stop them selling in.
Of course, yeah.
So that's a bit of an issue. And of course, the products or models like the Easy Shiner and the Swing Impact Fat have been copied so many times.
Yes.
Nobody probably knows that most of those were the originals from K-Tech.
Yeah,
so
I think it's probably quite important to talk about that because to the average angler, right, they're just picking up a packet.
Yeah.
They look at those, look at the Easy Shiner, look at the Swing Impact, and they just look like every other paddle tail that they've seen. What's the difference? The
difference is the R&D that's gone into actually manufacturing it. There's impregnated with most of them are impregnated with fish oil or whatever,
squid, shrimp, things like that.
Salt impregnation to get the balance correct.
I think the balance is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, massive. Yeah. I mean, I don't think a lot of the other ones that you're seeing, you're just seeing a copy of the shape of it.
Well, the mold's the same, but the actual build of it's different.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the bio element to it as well.
Yeah. Because they are biodegradable, right?
Yeah. That is part of the of their sales marketing that is biodegradable as well. So they're just a great lure. They possibly, if you had to maybe criticize slightly, they might be a little bit on the soft side.
Well, that's what everybody does say, but
that gives them the action.
Exactly.
And you have to see it like if you're in Europe or in Japan, America, obviously, it's a bait.
Yes.
It's seen as a bait. So you pick up a packet, you use the packet, you go and get another packet.
Yes.
And they're not expensive. Relative. Maybe I'm.
Well, I think I guess as someone who's looking on the likes of the Chinese sites, they'll think that's expensive, right? $6.99, I think so. Is that right?
That's at the top end. Yeah, they sort of start. They're around $6.50, something like that.
What you might get, like 8 to 10, I guess, on the smaller ones. Yeah. So obviously you are going to go through them quite quickly, but I mean the bite on them is so much better than what you're going to get.
Yeah, actually this week it was pretty much on. Wednesday, I think the only thing I was catching on was Easy Shiner.
Oh, there we go.
So, they were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Lovely action.
Yeah, and I think it's quite interesting because we, obviously, as I've got to know the brands a lot better and things like that, I mean, the colours are interesting, because you've developed some colours for the UK, right?
Yeah, we, so we've done, and it's not really a colour, is it, developed, but the solid whites. Yes. We did that on the bigger Easy Shiners. We did andymyttons. No, it's the pink one anyway. Yeah, I can't remember if that's sexy pink. I can't remember.
Bubblegum sparkle.
I can't. Yeah. I think we were going to call it sexy pink, but I don't know why it ended up. Probably we already had that.
Probably, yeah.
So and there was. Do you know what? My memory is awful at the moment, but we've done 2 or 3 different. We did. The first one we ever did was the Sexy Impact. Okay. In a 5.8 inch Sexy Impact in white.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
that's like a stick style.
Yeah, it's going to be more like a do live or that kind of thing, or like a gravity stick. And they've been out years. I think that was one of the originals that a lot of, but there's always something that's copied off something, isn't it? So I can't say it's definitely the original. But we had those. I think that was probably the first That was the first custom we did with K-Tech. And
oh, really? Okay,
yeah, that was back probably in 18 or 19, 18, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think the colours seem to improve. I really like the there's a clear sparkly glow one that you brought in. I'm not sure if that's a UK specific colour.
No, I think it's a special colour.
Yes.
So there's a difference between a UK custom and a custom and a special.
Yeah.
The specials they offer out, and you have to take, I don't know, sort of minimum quantities of 200-300 at a time. Yeah. Where if you do a custom, it's going to be at least double that.
Okay. So it's slightly kinder to you for your finances.
Yeah. But and being that they're customs or specials, they're not made all the time. Okay. So, it's why not? Let's go for it and have a go at it. And it's been some really nice colours. And
yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So do you have any particular favourites?
Colour-wise?
Oh, say lure or colour.
Lure in that, I can't look further than an easy shiner, really.
Yeah. Size?
Size easy shiner, probably 3-inch.
Okay. And what are you chucking? Is that for perch and chub?
That'll be mainly perch, chub. But let's be honest, I mean, it's a great little lure for bass, especially early season bass, a small one like that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, if I'm going to go for like schoolie bass, say I need one for a comp, literally just, 2 gram jig head, maybe 3 gram jig head if I really want to get a bit more action.
Yeah.
2-inch easy shiner, guaranteed, almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
No bass is turning its nose up.
It's a shoe-in.
It is.
Definitely.
It really is. Yeah, but we've always said that. I think I love, K-Tech is a really, really special brand. I think it's
Is it easy shiner for you then?
Madwag Mini for me.
Of course it is. Why did I even ask? I forgot about that.
in clear pink or natural pink, I think it's called, for flounder, but for bass as well, wrasse. Love it. I always forget the name of the colour. I've mentioned it before, but there's one that looks like a ragworm. It's like a green sparkle, whatever it's called.
It's not the Scuppernong one, is it?
It's not
That's
Scuppernong.
the dark one, isn't it?
That's the darker, yeah. Again, there's so many colours, but that'd be my pick. But it's like picking your favourite child, and you can't. There's too many nice ones to pick,
Yeah, that's good.
So rated or underrated?
Underrated, massively.
Okay. Yeah,
that's probably the most underrated. Because it justifies being right up there.
Yeah.
But whether it's poor marketing from me. Or it's just too late, or it's a sort of the market is just swamped with so many other products that it just can't find its way. It deserves to be everywhere.
I think certainly in LRF circles, it's rated. I think there's enough there. Obviously, that's a very small part of the market, but I think there's still a lot of opportunity there. I think for that to become more rated.
I think those that know. Yes. I think that's the best way of putting it.
Which is kind of makes it pretty cool in some ways.
It's cool, but it doesn't help my sales.
Not good for sales. Next up, let's talk about decoy. Really, because that's a more recent addition, right?
Yes, absolutely. I've had knowledge and I've sold decoy,
course,
but to get the distribution, that was two years ago.
Yeah,
I think the distribution.
Right. Yeah, which I was excited about because obviously we in the LRF scene, there's so much good stuff for decoy. But
it's been amazing. I'm so pleased. There's you obviously get products that you think, that's going to sell real well, and it hasn't quite taken off, or but overall, especially in the LRF side of it, it's been amazing. I like some of the ways that they've done Cheb rigs. They've got this different style, haven't they, with the different heads they've put on them, sliding heads and all sorts. Really, it's a really cool brand. I'm very, very pleased to have that on board.
Yeah, because decoy is almost entirely terminal tackle, really. It's hooks, weights, other bits
there's nothing really other than that in there. You get they do the odd accessory occasionally that comes up and available. What I'm really looking forward to is, now I'm not sure whether it's K-Tech or decoy, but they're doing a collaboration together.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah,
we did actually have. I've had a few samples of them, but I can't remember which one of them is actually going to supply.
Yeah,
but we should have one of these kits in by the end of the year. And
some of them are for their sea bream, right?
Yeah, but they're going to start opening that up to lots of different kits.
Nice.
So I think there'll be stuff.
There's an Agi kit as well, isn't there?
And that's the one we'll be wanting.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, I think that's again, it's like you pick your components well, isn't it? Decoy is definitely for that sharpest hooks. Strongest components. You really don't have decoy fail on you.
No, we've always had this conversation though about. Of course, they are quite fine. Those hooks, aren't they?
If we talk about the SS and the Yeah, little red hooks, obviously, we sell a lot of on the site, but they are very popular. And I think if you scan the packet, and I've said this before, using the Google Translate for the Japanese, it says, it literally says the type of fish that you're supposed to go for, and it's all gobies.
So they're not saying...
So they're not saying, like, try and hook a really solid mouth wrasse or something, though we have done it and have landed them. So I think a lot of it is, take the barbers off, be gentle, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The Japanese don't do anything unless there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So those hooks there's a reason why they're like that.
Yeah.
I've not really lost a fish with them. I've more snapped the hook while I've been unhooking them. So I've already landed the fish. It's a bit more disposable.
Yeah.
But really, really good.
Rated?
Yeah, I would say decoy's rated. Do you think?
I think it's rated. I mean, I think it's definitely more than K-Tech. You've got the VJ36, which is a great weedless weighted head.
Yes.
I still think it probably needs. It probably deserves a little bit more than it gets, but I'd say in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle on that one.
I think. Again, it's in our scene, absolutely rated.
Yeah, on the light game
the
side.
SV56 jig head, incredible. Just the perfect LRF jig head. Just amazing. And obviously the old decoy rockets, which I don't think we can get anymore, can we?
Yeah, they're available.
Yeah.
There's so many different jig heads and stuff like that now, and they're not the fastest sellers anymore, but there's no reason for that to be because they're a great jig head. So I don't know.
Just lots today. Yeah, there's so many things to bring in.
A lot of this is, it does seem that there's trends involved,
of course,
and we all know that, I'm sure. But even the products that aren't selling are great, I'm sure.
Yes, indeed. So next one, another recent addition, Magbite, obviously, which is hugely relevant to us. Yeah,
I am loving Magbite at the moment. Yeah. I literally, and I think that's really, I can really sort of credit you guys for that.
Thank you.
Because it wasn't one that I was particularly maybe just for a few bits and pieces, but I'm seeing more and more of the products that we got coming through are just so nice, so nichey, so cool. That we've just had a little drop that's come in that obviously you're going to be taking on some of those products anyway.
Yes,
but the booty shakes were great to start off with. Yeah. Those kits are amazing, aren't they?
They are.
It's just a really cool Japanese brand that I think, that could be, I think it's just unknown.
Yes. I think Magbite's an interesting one because the packaging's amazing.
Yeah.
The products are great. But it's niche,
Definitely niche.
If you're a bass angler, you're a bait angler, things like that, you're not going to heard of Magbite at all.
No.
But if you're an LRF angler, you probably have.
I'm hoping that because the bladed heads that obviously we talked about, we've got the lighter ones in. We've just got a whole range coming. I think it's up to 7 gram. It might be up to 10 gram, and the hooks are a lot bigger. And I'm going to be using those in the saltwater for bassing.
Yes,
is what I'm saying.
We think those combined with like an easy shiner.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. It'd
be incredible.
Why not? There's so many options for that with different products. Yeah. Even with a Majorcraft Slim Stabby, or even possibly even a Fat Stabby.
We didn't even talk about those, and you are a big fan of those, aren't you?
I can't believe I didn't say it.
No.
See, I can't remember anything.
No.
Yeah, 2 years ago it would have been a Fat Stabby shad.
Yes.
Last year, I suppose. It probably would be.
Explain those, because that's a soft plastic from Majorcraft.
Yeah, right? It's not got a head in it. It's not got a hook in it. So you've got to rig it. The Fat Stabby, amazing tail action. The only thing I can put that closest to is something like a spindle worm, where you don't need to. You can just literally just lift it with the tip of the rod. You can feel the vibration through the tip of the rod.
Yeah, really.
And I just like to be able to know where I am. I just like touch bottom and then just lift it.
Yeah.
It just works for me. I don't know. And there's a couple.
And that's in salt and fresh, right?
Salt and fresh, of course. Yeah, literally. And now, actually, this last year, 2024, I really got into the Slim Stabby. Okay, so again, the tail action on that is phenomenal, and it's quite a durable plastic as well.
They're tougher than K-Tech. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And the colours, they're just really good colours. And we've got a whole load coming, a new bunch.
Yes, there's like freshwater colours coming in, isn't
They are, but I'll be using, there's AU and things like that are in it, which are going to be fine. We've got a white coming as well.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be exciting. That's been in development for ages. It's so slow. Like I say, I could put an order in with something and it can take up to 2 years at the moment. Okay. Yeah, it's not like instant. So
Shame, but obviously quite fun when it all lands.
Yeah.
To use it. Yeah.
As long as everyone still wants it.
That's true.
All right.
True. Yeah. I think the just I'll stay on those a second. With the stabbies, it's quite interesting because the colours are really interesting. Are they printed on?
Yeah, they're printed on.
Yeah. So it's different to how like K-Tech do theirs, because obviously theirs is like the solid colour for it, the whole lure. But I guess if you were to cut one of those stabbies open, it's not the colours on the inside.
No, correct. Yeah, exactly. And I do that when I rig the heads.
Yes.
Most people have seen what I do with the heads, but you can just stick a jig head on it anyway. You don't need to do what I just a bit sad like that. I like the thing to look like.
Well, you've got those fish heads, haven't you? They look really
I like those fish heads.
Again, Magecraft.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been great, and I quite like a bit of crafting. You know,
yeah, nice.
A child of Blue Peter here.
Yeah, indeed.
So
that's good.
By the way, we didn't on the Magecraft thing. We forgot to mention the Ely shads, which obviously,
yes, of course,
last year were realistically I had.
Well, I've got one hanging up in front of me right now, and staring me in the face, and we missed that as well. So we'll go back to them because why not?
Yeah.
So they are a development with Spain again.
They are actually. It is to do with Spain, which is so. It has been a really positive thing having Spain involved in it, and it's a product that we really needed. That kind of rig deal, kind of, and since we've had the first batch in, they sold incredibly well. The sizes, I think we've got the 4.5, then I think it's 8, 22, and a 39.
Yeah,
all have fished well. All have caught on. I had a real red letter day last year and had my two in 20 minutes. I had a 78 and a 72, which was an amazing day. And I mean, who knows? I'm not saying it's the lure, but I will say it's the lure. Of
course.
But we've actually, we're just about to have another huge delivery of the 22s because they sold out almost instantly.
Okay. So obviously good excitement about them.
I'm talking to the guys in Ireland that we deal with and, Republic and Northern Ireland, and they're both really excited about getting these back in. Most of the shops in the UK that I talk to regularly are really excited about it. I've got plenty coming, and there's development on a size between the 22 and the 8.5. Is it?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully have a 15 coming out.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Hopefully it's early and not like at the end of the season.
Yes.
But that could be a real, actually that could be a real winner. Just adding that one to it. So
I mean, we've obviously used the 4.1s and to great success. Obviously with the bass, I think early season bass is going to be amazing on those.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously those pin sand deals that they're going to be after. I think that's interesting. So was that literally just Spain, the Spanish team, just going, yes, this is what we want? Did you have any hand in that?
I had no hand in that whatsoever. No. In fact, I knew nothing about it. I won't take any credit for that.
No, fair enough,
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, I was super excited when I saw those.
Yeah. Because obviously we've, the popular ones that we've seen, the Western Sandy Andy, the Savage Gear. Sandeel. Obviously big sellers, massive sellers, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, Magecraft, they're not creating anything brand new here.
Oh, we haven't reinvented the wheel at all. No. But it was important that it was a good quality. The hook is BKK.
Very
it's
sharp.
Super sharp, yeah. Good quality plastic as well.
Yeah.
The head, it's at least the equivalent of anything else, in terms of that. But I know the hook's very, very sharp.
Yeah.
And just, it seemed pretty durable. Of course, if you're going to hit a wrasse, there's not a lot I can do about that.
No,
but overall, I think out on that day where we had lots and lots of bass, the lures were lasting, half a dozen fish onwards, which is pretty good on those sort of size fish.
Yeah, and the value's pretty good on those, aren't they?
Excellent. Twin pack.
You get two, obviously not just like a
two
head
rigged
and a body.
Yeah, two rigged. And prices, I think, up to the biggest ones like $9.99 retail.
Yeah.
Starting at, I think it's $7.99. So
it's good for two lures. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've been quite excited about those. I think it's probably they came at the wrong time of the season for that. So we're looking forward to how they do in the spring. Yeah, going into summer.
We'll just start working on the small ones, like you said, and the spring run, and then work our way up. Yeah, hopefully get another 78.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. I forget where we were now. So Magbite, we something. Oh yeah. So now we've got an exciting one to talk about. Little Jack.
Oh, yeah, another one that I smile a lot about.
Yeah, I was so happy when I heard you were getting this in, because Little Jack is like, obviously you follow all their Instagram, their socials and things, and they're showing all these incredible lures, but they were really hard to get hold of in the UK.
Yeah, they have had a presence in the UK, haven't they? I think with Ben and stuff.
Ben Fishing, and I think down in I forget what he's called, Lizard.
He's done some.
He brought some in, and that's where I bought from before. Yeah, but it was never consistent enough with the actual things you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many good items that are unfortunately, there's too many. They look so good. If you go onto the website, it's just like, oh, it's dreadful. It's like a candy shop.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm really excited with that. Again, I think it's been a slow start. We've had them just over a year now.
Yes.
It's definitely slow, but I don't think people know what to do with them exactly. Or they,
some of them are they look great, particularly with imagination to try and work out what you're going to do with them, right?
And I think that will be one of our challenges this year, is to try and catch multiple fish on those different lures that perhaps aren't getting the love that they should do. It's just people just like sort of wolf whistling at them isn't enough. I need them to buy them. Indeed. So I think there's just every one of them just makes me smile. I just don't know why. There's some new ones that we're just about to pull the trigger on.
Are they the vibe style ones?
Yeah, that one. I was with the translucent sort of body and
so nice. So that's looks perfect like a SCAD.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a SCAD copy, a bit like they've done like the Bream copy.
Yeah, which is the Cherrycombe. Yeah. Again, that was the one classic. That one, the first cast, I took it out. But unfortunately, I took it out of the river. First cast, I had a pike, and the second cast, I chucked it in a tree. So
classic. Yeah.
Hey ho,
a nice decoration. Yeah.
So, there's so many good lures there, and of course, there's more people now using metals. Metals are a thing that have become very popular in the last, I'd say, probably last 2 or 3 years, where they perhaps didn't get the love that they should. I think now people are starting to see that, including myself, you need a little bit of everything. You need a soft plastic, you need a hard plastic, and you need a metal.
Yes.
Then you've got everything you need to go fishing.
Yeah, agreed.
Whereas, there are, I can do that sometimes. If I go out in the river, it's just on the softies, where it was always hard. I'm a hard lure fan, but I've got like some issues with my elbows and stuff like that. And once I started fishing with the softs, you get a bit obsessive about softs.
Yeah.
But and of course, don't forget surface fishing though.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, there's so much, isn't there? Yeah.
Question for that then, underrated? What do you think?
What do I think? I think underrated.
Unknown.
Yeah, I think that's probably more like it, that most people just don't really know of it. Or they look at it and go, wow, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Or, it's kind of, and a few of the lures, I've like sort of still struggling to work out how to get the best out of them. Like the Hannibix prawns and stuff like that, I love, but they're very light and they've got a very slow fall. And I know I want to work them near the bottom. I'm just trying to work out different ways of doing that.
Keeping them down.
Yeah, whether that's with Esterline, whether that's with a Caro rig, things like that. That's my process at the moment. But there's so many lures that I just go, I want to catch something on that, Yeah, I really just want to. Little Jack is a really, really special brand, I think. G-Crack. We said about the bags. That's
G-Crack,
the reason.
The reason I took them was because of that. It's very exciting. I really like the bellows. I've done quite well with the bellows sticks.
Okay,
had some nice chub on those.
So these are the soft plastics that have very strong scent to them.
Yep.
Smell like Watsits or
exactly. Thank you. I was waiting for the Watsits.
Yeah.
It's like it's shrimp garlic.
Yes.
SAF material.
Which is the same stuff as Magbite, right?
Yeah, Magbite used G-Crack's
formula.
I think it's that way around. Yeah, I think it's that way. It's really potent smell. Really nice soft as well. They're very soft.
Very soft.
I did use them. I haven't used them enough in the salt to personally.
Yes.
I did use them a bit like now was it early last year? The winter last year, not this winter.
Yeah.
And I had pollock and bass on them off the boat. I have had bass small, but only small. But mainly it will be on the river. I've done better.
And they've developed mostly for fresh, aren't they?
It is, yeah. It's a largemouth bass lure.
Yeah, so if you go on their website, and I have, obviously looking for different things, the section for the largemouth bass fishing is way bigger.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's been really good to see. There's a guy called Chris Lowe who's been absolutely caning the big perch on them. Real thumpers. That's on the bellows gills.
Okay, yeah.
So, and we've been waiting for the floating one to come out for like a year.
Yeah.
It was due out end of last year. Now it's due out. I think it's due to drop in March now. Unfortunately, it looks like we'll probably lose that season. So we're going to be back to the late 2025 season, autumn again. But anyway, hopefully there'll be a floating bellows for later in the year.
Yeah.
There's a floating bellows stick at the moment.
Yes.
Which is what I've been using as well.
I guess for like Ned style fishing?
Yeah, exactly. It ain't my style of fishing. I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely
more active.
I'd like to cast and retrieve. So yeah.
Yeah, obviously that's a bit more slower kind of retrieve. But to be fair, a lot of that, when you scale it down, is similar to what LRF anglers are doing.
Yeah.
You're very, very slow, twitchy.
Sit on your hands. And,
and wait. Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
So G-Crack.
Well, obviously I'm asking you.
Yeah, okay, well...
rated or underrated?
Is it rated or underrated? I don't know if it's as well known again as it should be. I think it's in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think it's well known. I think that's
fairly new to your stable, so to speak. So you're kind of still building up that fan base, I think, of the G-Crack stuff.
I think that's fair to say. And, but if we had more bags, it would be better known.
Yes, okay,
And all I seem to be able to get at the moment are the edging bags or edging bags, bag, whatever you want to call them.
Which is the squid style.
Yeah. They're lovely. I mean, I never really understand why they actually, specify. Yeah. Why does it need to be specified as that, particularly?
Because it's Japanese.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Because they just like to specify everything, don't they?
They do. They like a rod for everything and they like a bag for everything. But in honesty, it's a perfect bag for bass fishing or LRF fishing or whatever.
Yeah.
Sort of, river.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of bags and things like that, I mean, obviously Revali, Revali Bird in Blood, RBB.
Yep.
Obviously, how did you get involved with them? What was the
same thing? I just funny enough, RBB. It's another one that I'd had dealings with in the past, and it was obviously the flotation vests that I was looking at the time, and went down that route, and bags. I seem to have a thing about bags. But so the flotation vests, which were quite popular but quite hard to come by. They used, I think Nick Roberts, that was originally he was dealing with Ima.
Okay,
and Ima use RBB to make the flotation vest as well.
Yeah,
so it's the same thing, just got Ima on it.
Of course.
I just thought that would be nice for the stable, to put in the portfolio, and kind of like we added that into it, and there's some really cool items in there. There's some really cool scissors that they do that are really nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some probably the best quality gloves that I've had for a long time. The fingerless gloves. They're nice. Really nice. They're expensive.
Yep.
But they are very nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's not cheap, but I use the bags actually. I've got a green shoulder bag for the freshwater, and I've got the grey sort of dark grey one for the salt. So it's a bit sad, but they've been really good. It lasts. It has that sort of weird material really, where it sort of looks like it's almost pulled, but it's not. It's like a canvas kind of material. But
nice.
Yeah, I think it's done me proud.
Yeah,
fills up with water. I tip it out again.
That's good. That's really good. So rated, underrated?
Don't think it's known enough again. Yeah. So
we are getting into probably as we're going.
They're very niche. Yeah, super niche brand. Yeah. Underrated. Then.
Underrated. Yeah. So we'll say Bass Day next.
Bass Day, another super niche.
I would say very niche, and probably a lot of people have no idea what Bass Day is.
Yeah, because
would I be right in saying that?
I think you're right. Yeah. Bass Day is probably more. It is largemouth bass. Yes. Is really what it's. Although they do saltwater, obviously. Yeah. We've got some really cool lures from Bass Day. There's some shallow divers, the Gayakusi. I can't even say half these things. That's been a really.
So these are mostly hard lures, right?
Hard plastics. Because
they're the ones who do the goby cranks, right?
That's the one. Yeah. Sorry, I've got to remember what I've got from them. To be honest.
I'm trying to get you to bring in.
That's right. They do some really super niche stuff. There's one called Johnny Mohican. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't. No.
So it's like a wake bait. He's got like a Mohican.
Okay, yeah.
So it's just a sort of a stick bait, hard stick bait with a Mohican, and you just bring it along the top.
Yeah. And
the Mohican cuts through the water.
Oh, okay, like a fin. Yeah. Obviously would. Okay, nice.
Like a shark.
Yeah, nice.
So there's some cool little items from there. They're really nice company to deal with. And it's proper good quality gear as well. I'd love to do more with them. It's just the market. I need that to open up perhaps a bit more.
Are they more expensive than Ima or
no? About the same.
About the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Similar.
Nice. So I think we're going to say underrated on that one, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Product I would say on that. No, hang on a second. I've just missed the killer product on that, which is Crystal Pencil.
Okay.
Holy cow! Yeah, the Crystal Pencils are amazing. Just get that right. It is Bass Day. Yeah. Crystal pencil, which is basically
surface lure, is it? Or
it's a casting pencil,
okay,
hard. It's like translucent. You've got it's beautiful. You can. It's mainly for like a destination type thing. But if you're fishing like surf beaches, it'd be great, or for a boat if there's busting fish or something like that. If we do get some of these small pelagics around in the channel, then that'd be great for those.
Yes, yeah.
It's wire through as well.
Okay, so strong. So not going to let you down.
That's probably, if you're looking at it, you've got to say that's got to be the favourite from Bass Day, I'd say.
Okay, nice. I've actually neglected to talk about Ima, actually. I just realised that.
I can't believe it.
I know.
Ima, of all the brands, yeah.
So, obviously, Ima, I would say very well known.
Very well known, yeah.
Yeah. Very rated?
Yeah. If you're talking hard plastics and if you're not talking about surface lures, then I think it's Ima.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of any Japanese brand, that literally does it from top to bottom. So from surface to shallow, deep dive in, they do it all.
Yeah.
And they've got a product for all of those.
Yes.
I think we've had to work harder on the surface side because, you're up against some stiff competition when you're talking about a Pachenko. There's some other fantastic surface lures out there as well, but particularly the Pachenko is kind of like, I would say, probably the best seller in the UK.
Yes, certainly the most well known.
Absolutely. But then you've got the likes of the Salt Skimmer, which has been around a long time, which is, I know Henry was really, really loved that lure, which is a great lure. But I think the Chappie for me has been the lure that I've loved. Until I duff my elbows in. It's a fantastic lure, and you can.
Why the Chappie?
Why the Chappie? It's large.
Okay.
Casts really, really well.
Yep.
Good distance. It's once you get used to. I use tip up technique.
Okay. Yeah.
Once you use tip up technique, you can really get it to work really, really well. I've caught well with it. It does everything you want it to. It does what it's meant to do, kind of thing. I think it's a little bit. I used to love Z-Claw.
Okay.
The original, like the small Z-Claw.
Yeah.
It's quite similar in some ways.
Okay.
So that would be my surface. But this year, or last year, sorry, the little Pugachev's Cobra has been a really successful one. Especially early season where the bait fish small profile. So that's another really good little surface lure. Walks the dog really, really well. So. They're those ones. Shallow divers, obviously. You've got some absolute classics in there with Komomo 2s.
Yeah.
Now we've got the Eyeborns, which I love the Eyeborn. If you want a shallow diver that's going to, have a lot of erratic wobble and roll, it's Komomo 2. If you want one that's going to be a more straight retrieve, it's an Eyeborn.
Okay, yeah.
You've got different sizes on both of them. And then, where do we go? You've got the Komomos, then you've got the Suzukes, which are deeper dive, and then you've got the Hound Glides, Nabarones. It's
a lot.
Hundreds of colours.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Scary.
And some specifically developed by yourself, right?
Dots. Yeah. I can't. There's no way I can go through that. But my probably favourite.
Is that favourite? Yeah, say favourite.
Yeah, it's Agi. It's Agi. Yeah. I mean, Agi existed. It existed on a Suzuki 105.
Yes.
And it existed on something. I think it was the Moog or something like. It's a really unusual one called the Moog. I think it was called that. But that colour we developed into lots of different colours. But so that would be the colour I love the most. But obviously the one that's probably best known would be the Sexy Mackerel. That
of course.
We made that colour. Yeah. So that is like we developed the colour with Japan. So
that's your baby, really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. They actually use it now so the rest of Europe has access to it, but it didn't for years.
It's an obviously great looking colour. It's a very
sexy.
It's okay.
It's sexy, isn't
it? Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess people would say, if they look at Ima lure, obviously it's like 20 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the big sticking point, I would say, to maybe the angler first coming into bass fishing, right? Even with LRF, like obviously we've got the Minial, which we sell in the shop. There are some crankbaits as well, which are all very expensive. But we are talking, these are high quality, very, very high quality, and the action is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting chat really about like the value that you're getting out of these. It's obviously...
Well, you know what? I personally would advocate... I don't agree with, hey, it's great if you want to buy, 10 of each.
Yes.
It's fantastic. But personally, I would rather have a box with a couple of surface lures, one that you can pop, one that you can walk the dog, a couple of shallow divers, like I just said, one that will be more aggressive wobble and roll, one that's going to be straight retrieve, and a couple of deep divers, and then use a couple of soft plastics, a couple of metals.
Yeah.
You've got something. I don't advocate having like taking the kitchen sink with you when you go fishing, because it surely is part of the enjoyment of it is to just put a sling bag round you, a bottle of pop with you, and go off. You know, but you're not going to. Why would I want to? Like, I don't want to start carp fishing and wheelbarrow it along. You know, it's like. For me, I think from that sense, 20 quid a lure. So you're talking, okay, it's not cheap. I'm not going to say it's cheap at all. Not, no. But, and I would rather have something I've got full confidence in that I know is going to work. It's a quality lure rather than having 10 of the same thing and carrying boxes and boxes, and they're all cheap, and they get caught in the wind because they haven't got the balance right in it. The colour's all chip or whatever, or it's just not quite the right colour, because the colours are never quite right, are they, on the budgety stuff, and the hooks aren't great. You know, these are mainly decoy hooks on them, so
of course,
quality hook.
Yeah,
you know, what more can you say?
That's good. Yeah, exactly. It's just I think that's what I want to just talk about, because obviously with Imer, I think that's probably the one sticking point people would say is just that
the price,
high price. Yeah,
don't buy too many. Just have a few, and then when the problem is, of course, we're all responsible. You chase bass, you see somebody catch on a particular colour lure or model, and then you think, well, any fish really, and you just go and buy it. Well, you just got to try and stay sensible.
Yes.
Of course, we want you to buy more lures. I'm not going to lie, but I think just sensible with it.
Yeah. One thing I will say is probably a lot of those lures we're talking about are surface or subsurface, so really you aren't losing those as much.
No, really. A subsurface lure is going to be more likely to get lost.
Yes.
But yeah, surface lures shouldn't. Particularly.
I mean, other than you cracking off or losing on a big fish, perhaps, that's about really.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I guess you probably find that you're replacing more things like hound glides that are going to, the deepest dive is going to be the one that you will possibly lose on a snag.
Kelp. Yeah.
But yeah, great lures. I think, when we're talking about if the UK leading surface lure is a Pachenko, then in theory that's more money than a Chappie anyway.
Yeah, true.
Or by a pound or two. But
they're all in
it's equivalent. They're all in that. But you don't have to spend that. They're a great major craft to a Sienna lure, which is a very nice and adequate surface lure.
Yeah.
If you don't want you want half the price of tenner for a lure. It's perfect.
No, good. So again, we're going. I'll get back to probably rated or underrated.
Rated. Definitely rated.
I agree. Talking about another rated brand, Sunline.
Yeah, well,
are we saying? I think it's rated.
I think in LRF scenes. So in the UK and Ireland, I think it's known for small game PE, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
I think if you speak to anybody who knows LRF, will say that's the best line you can get.
Yeah. I think you're right, and that's hence why we probably went for the product. Again, that's something we've been around for a long time with the Sunline, and actually, I used to know the previous distributor of that product, and I did look at it a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think the other products are probably not so well known. Not rated. Some of the Siglon. I've been using the Siglon. Just the X8 Siglon.
Okay.
And it's been really, really good. I've got no issue. Very supple, soft, supple, but still strong. And they've actually got that in some of the lighter sizes. We do a 5 and a 6.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to spend small game money, you can still
get quality braid.
Yeah. It's only like just 20, 22 quid, something like that.
Yeah, which is very reasonable for braid.
I think so. Yeah. And of course, there's all the fluorocarbons.
Yes, loads of fluorocarbon.
And the poly, the ester lines and stuff like that.
Which I've been using a lot. Yeah.
So there's lots of choice there. I don't think it's. I think in in the small game world, it's a rated brand. I think outside of it, I don't think it has the following that perhaps it deserves. It's another one that doesn't get the deserved. Not deserved.
What do you think the bass guys use the most then of the in the braids?
Do you know? Obviously, I think Suffix was a well used because of Henry. Yeah. Marketing. It's down to marketing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we all have the one we like, and I suppose experiences. You can have one guy, has a spool of, I don't know, dangan and hasn't got on with it at all. And then another guy that absolutely loves it. So it's very personal. Braids and fluorocarbons and stuff. One bad spool and you're screwed.
Yeah, you have one bad spool will literally just go off it for life. Yeah,
exactly. But there's, I think that's probably the same with every brand out there.
Yeah,
I'd say there's so many good brands out there. There's so many good Japanese brands and European brands. Western, I think, are doing some good braids at the moment. There's and it's obviously all the American stuff, Berkeley and all that kind of stuff. There's Sick and things like that. So
plenty of good stuff out there.
It's difficult, but I think it's underrated.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good. And I think finally, the last one of yours, when we've gone through a lot of your brands, is Yamaria. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, Yamaria. So that's Maria and Yamashita.
Yes.
They put it together. Fantastic year with Yamashita last year.
Yes, which is squid, right?
Squid, exactly. Probably, arguably, in the mainstream, the main Japanese squid brand.
Okay.
I'm sure that there are. Actually, Little Jack do a fantastic squid jig.
They do, yeah. Beautiful.
But, in the mainstream, I think Yamashita is the best known.
Okay, yeah. Because squid is huge in Japan, right?
It's massive. Yeah, I mean...
Or Ejin, as they call it. Or
I don't know if it's Ejin, whatever it is. But, I should know that, really, shouldn't I?
Well... Yeah, we mispronounce everything.
I probably wouldn't remember anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That was a massive one for us last year. And to be honest, Maria is actually improving all the time.
Okay.
Because Maria sells mainly destination type lures.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like bigger poppers.
Yes.
Bigger sort of like casting sort of, what would you call it? Minnow, I suppose.
Okay.
Cranking baits and things like that.
So this is obviously for going abroad.
It's tuna,
big tuna,
like smaller tuna and things like
GTs,
that.
Things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. But a really cool brand. In terms of in the squid side of it, it's highly rated. I'd say there probably isn't anything I know of that is rated higher. On the other side of it, Maria was really well known for they did a hard plastic for bass fishing called a chase.
Okay.
Which was quite a popular thing a decade plus ago. But they don't make that anymore. Okay. So, but there are a few small ones, like a duplex is a really cool it's a really small profile, like I think it's about 70 centimeter type lure. Okay. And it's heavy. Yeah. Deep diving heavy. So it's really quite a cool lure because because often you'll want a smaller lure. You want a small profile, but you want it to do the distance, have the weight to get out there and go deep.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nichey thing. That's a cool lure. But we're on Maria. So it's probably an underrated in that sense. But I think as it goes on and we get more and more fish into the channel that are pelagics, we are selling a few. I'm not going to lie, for the tuna side of it. In the UK. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
So that's a growing market.
Yeah, bluefin. Amazing. No, that's really good. Thank you for going through all of those. It's a lot to talk about there.
Sorry, I've probably forgotten some. I probably waffled too much there. And
no, it's great. Apologies. I think that anyone who listens to this will be big into talking tackle and want to hear your thoughts on that. I think so. That's really good. Thank you.
Hopefully I haven't bored you.
No, not at all. I think I'll go back to one of Rich's questions actually that I didn't ask before. What do you think are the biggest challenges to the UK tackle industry at the moment?
At the moment, okay. So we've got quite a few challenges. Probably the biggest at the moment is the increase in Temu, AliExpress kind of products coming through. Don't blame anybody for buying those products at all, and I completely understand it. But as I said earlier, if it were me, it's easy for me to say that, though, isn't it? Of course.
I think anybody listening to this will be able to make their own mind up, of course, but it's I think it's interesting to hear, though, from your side, because how often do people talk to distributors? How often do...
Well, true.
So this is what this podcast is all about.
I think if people continue to, or the new people coming through, I think that's what we're talking about, aren't we?
Newbies,
So the newbies coming into both fresh and salt water. If they are going to bypass likes of us, and in the same sense, they're going to bypass the likes of Savage Gear, Fox, those sort of people as well. Because to be honest, our products aren't, especially, forget the hard plastics for a minute, the rest of them aren't that, they're dissimilar in price. So we're all in the same boat together, aren't we? if they're going to bypass those guys, I think in the long run, it's a knock-on effect all the way through, because, you know, the money's like, I think you said this on a podcast, the previous podcast, actually, that the money's going out of the country. It's going to Japan, to China, sorry.
Yeah.
And, you know, there won't be tackle shops, but this isn't just fishing industry, is it?
No.
This is in all industries at the moment.
And what's happened for the last probably 50 years or so has been this massive increase in manufacturing from China. Having that money come through the country, even if it is manufactured in China, is a big difference to just buying direct. Yeah,
this is because Temu and Ali are through the factory, aren't they?
Yes,
so it's. I think I'm hoping that the government are going to do something about it.
Yeah.
I know that. Again, I think you said this, but I know that Trump and him coming in next week is going to make things more difficult.
Yes.
There needs to be a fair playing field. I don't mind. You know, selling on a fair playing field, and there's always going to be high quality gear and low quality gear, but it doesn't seem fair. There's no way.
I think I probably haven't mentioned that before. I think you're spot on there. I think it's not a fair playing field in regards to the cost that they can provide, that they can offer. It's completely different what the average tackle shop could provide.
I can tell you that I think the cheapest, and if you're shipping like rods at the moment, you're paying at least, and this is with a really good rate, at least 12 quid. And that's before that you've this is just for a rod to be shipped. Before you've even put the a tube around it, which costs probably about 4 quid.
Of course.
You know, I mean, and even if you're buying them in quantity, everything's gone up.
Yeah.
The tape and all that, and the time that you've got somebody to do it. By the time you look at all of that, you're up towards 20 quid.
Yes.
How could you buy a rod and a reel for £25 shipped from China?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense, no.
So it's not something. Yeah, we need to protect our businesses in the UK.
Yes.
And be on a fair playing field. Don't mind it. You know, I don't think of us as being a budget distributor, because we're trying to supply quality products.
Yes.
But that's probably the biggest problem that we have in the industry at the moment. It really needs to be sorted.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That was good. So thank you for that. So I think we'll finish up on just on a nice one. Just your favourite fish.
Freshwater UK chub.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be a bass in saltwater UK, and in abroad it's going to be. I think I'm going to go with a redfish.
Okay.
Redfish or snook.
Oh, nice. Okay, it's obviously American.
I love the American. Done a lot of American fishing. So.
Yeah, any sort of decent sizes, sort of big special fish to talk about?
Well, probably the one that most people see or might have seen is my long nose gar that I had that I caught on the Benki.
Okay, yeah.
I caught it on the little Benki 3/8 rod, the little travel one.
Oh, nice.
And it was 50 inches. So I spoke to someone in a tackle shop and we worked it at about somewhere around the £35 mark on that. And I was kayaking down the backwater.
Incredible.
And I had him and took it. That was on a Suzuki 75 shad.
Really? Wow.
On a Benki.
Yeah.
That was an incredible catch, but I've had loads of really fun, some really nice.
What's it like handling one of those gars? Are they
you just
difficult
watch
to handle?
out.
Because they've got those obviously the whole snout full of teeth.
Well, they can't really get right. They can't turn that well.
Yes, they're very solid, aren't they, fish?
Yeah, and I think I'd worn him out, to be honest.
Of course,
It took quite a while. I couldn't just bully him, so I did actually get off the kayak on a bank and ended up sorting him that way, but. There's some pictures I'll show you in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's fish like that and some nice double figure snook and redfish and things like that. Fantastic fish.
Nice.
Catfish as well.
Yeah. And you said, obviously, with the chub and the bass, what's your biggest chub?
Chub, 5'10".
Nice. Quality fish.
Bass.
On lure?
On lure. Yeah, it was all on lure.
Amazing, yeah.
And then bass was that one last year, actually. That's my PB at 78. So it was about 11, something like that.
Yeah, which is a quality fish on lure.
But it was on a boat, so it's not counted. That's what I'm told.
Well, yeah, I guess. It depends on where you're that from the shore would be absolutely
I can't even imagine it from the shore. I've only like 69 from the shore is my best. I've never hit 70. I did 2 70s in 20 minutes on the boat.
Yes, yeah.
But I've fished a lot, so it's surprising. I'm really not a very good angler. I just like doing it.
Well, you do all right. And I think it's probably. I wanted to sort of finish talking about Tacklewave Crew.
Yep.
And I think probably a little bit of a change in angle from yourself because we're seeing more of you now. Yeah,
that's
we
true.
never used to see as much because obviously Andy was involved.
Yeah.
Andymytton did a lot of good work, obviously through promoting
brilliant
on the videos and stuff like that. But now Andy sort of take a step back, so you've kind of stepped in on that, right?
Yeah, I kind of made a decision that it was kind of time to, why not do it myself? I'm always fishing.
Yes.
So I might as well go fishing. I'm not the greatest fisherman, but I love fishing. I can say that. Anyone that knows me knows I actually love fishing.
Yeah.
And I do go fishing. I love using the products. And together with like this whole crew idea was that it would be somewhere that everyone could get involved and interact, so that we could have retailers, end users, all posting up pictures of fish that they catch. And
this is a Facebook group we're talking about.
It is, yes. Unfortunately, we set it up as a closed group, so you have to join the group, which has been a mistake. But in some ways not, because then, we get the right people.
Ours is a closed group.
Is it?
And obviously we've got, 1,700 members,
so it's a slower growth, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get everyone joining, but then also you don't get spammers.
No, that's true.
You don't get anything like you are able to get the people who actually are going to appreciate the content and contribute.
Yeah. It's fun. I mean, we took on, this wasn't last year, the year before last, a couple of young people. We've got Lydia and Johnny. Yeah. But Johnny's sort of, he's still around, but now we've got Johnny and his little brother Henry. Nice. Yeah. But they're doing. We didn't get as much fishing in as we should have done last year. I think it was weather. It was absolutely shocking, wasn't it? In the last sort of 18 months, it's been really poor. But really, really excited. So pleased with Lydia because she's just got taken on. She's got into the England squad for fly fishing.
Incredible.
So I'm really proud of her.
Yeah, and she's been filmed. She's been filmed as well, hasn't she?
Well, she's such a lovely girl, and she deserves it so much. Yeah. Great. She works with me sometimes as well. We, yes, it's great. We fish. I probably fish more with Lydia.
Yes.
But I love fishing with Johnny and his family. Yeah, they're all great. So they've been great, and obviously the guys that work with me, Paul's doing a lot more. You see him out and about on his boat, the Major Craft boat.
No, Paul very well. Obviously, he helps us out a lot, and he's a great guy. Obviously, we've been very, very lucky to work with you very closely, and I've seen the Tacklewave crew grow as well. Is really good. I think anybody who's not a member of that group, if you search it on Facebook, you'll find it and join it. I think it's really good. It's just good to sort of share quality tackle, quality catches, things like that. It's just good to show. Yeah,
it's just literally it's a specific area for our products to be displayed, talked about, loved, whatever, hated, whatever, please get involved because we do give away a t-shirt every month as well.
Oh, there we go.
One of those lovely kitty ones that's designed by Mike Tamlin.
I was going to say Mike Tamlin does great designs.
Yeah, he does. I'm really, really pleased he's on board as well. So
good. Right. Well, I think we've talked for over an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we'll finish up there.
Have a drink.
That's it, definitely. But thank you so much, Mike.
Oh, pleasure.
Yeah, really appreciate it. And thank you for everyone for listening. The Big Lerf Podcast, talking LRF and more.